In a general sense, a life-inspired Sam, which I know sounds a little bit cheesy, but to be more specific, it was these just two songs that I listened to. One of them by a band called Wax Fang, and the song is called Majestic. And if you listen to the lyrics, really pay attention to the lyrics, they really explain the whole film to me. And the other is a song called Between the Bars, originally made by Elliott Smith, but covered by Chris Kinnear. And I really love this cover, and the lyrics in there really explain exactly his situations. So, you know, it was those two pieces of music that actually pushed me to write something down. And then a situation happened in my life that really pushed me to take my pen and write something down. So it was just life and music. Starting the production process was actually one of the difficult bits for me because I had to pitch the idea to a lot of people, and one of the first people I pitched the idea to was obviously my producer, Alex Matthews, and he loved the idea, so he told me to go ahead with it. And from then on, it was just when I got the approval of my producer, I just felt, you know, there's no stopping us now. The cast, the crew, and they all loved it and said they wanted to work on it. So, you know, it was just pitching and telling people the story.
Do you know what the best advice my dad ever gave me was? He said, know your limits. Well, someone first came to me to a project before this, which was Wouldn't I Like To? And I remember doing that, and then they brought up doing this one, and they wanted me again for another small scene. And when I went up there, I read it, and I just didn't want to be this character. So I had a look at the main character, which they said they'd already gotten someone for. And I started reading, and I said, look, you gotta give me a chance at this, you gotta let me do this, and they did, you know, thankfully. And that day they recast me.
I was approached by the director. He already had the majority of the script read out. He noted to me that it needed some smoothing over, it needed to be more organic, more genuine, the characters needed to be believable. It's a story about imagination, self-destruction, depression, just what the mind kind of does. It's very interesting.
The character Sam is a very unhealthy, depressed individual. He's very closed person. For me to portray that, I made sure that he looked very gaunt and, you know, put some black hair for his eyes to make him look tired all the time. I had an idea of, you know, I got given the scene what it was. I got told what specifically what they wanted, so if they wanted more focus on the eyes or more focus on the lips. For Nadine, the actress, I got told that the main focus for the party scene was her eyes. When girls go out, they do put a lot of mascara on, eyeliner on, and obviously when you do that to the eyes, you can't put bright lipstick on the lips, so you normally go for a neutral colour. If you're going to have a heavy eye makeup, you have a neutral lip colour.
I think what drew me to the project was when obviously Dami took me over the kind of details of like how his depression works. I found that rather interesting, that it was a different type of idea to and how to explore depression and how he has created his own world. And I thought that's really good because you never really look at the kind of personal life of the person who's suffering depression. I thought that seems really interesting, and that kind of drew me towards the project.
Dami actually approached me. He's an old friend of mine, and he wanted me to act as the DP of Sam. He really liked my previous work, and we did work on previous projects like Wouldn't I Like To together, a short film, which I was also the DP of. It's interesting to be working with Dami because it's his first time actually being a director. In previous projects, I've worked as a director and DP at the same time, but you know, Dami wanted to step up, and he thought that it was his time to actually shine and tell a story. The story is very, very indie in its style. So we had many scenes that required me to think on my feet, and we had limited amount of time. Lighting setups have to be really quick, and Dami really wanted me to be part of this production. We really have a good communication with each other.
The locations that I got for the film gave the film a bit more depth. We went out on different locations, and I thought we couldn't have it just in one place. I think it needs to expand a little bit. We was in Sam's mind. We had to expand to different places. He made different situations for himself. So I think that was the reason why we picked so many different locations, and it just looked brilliant.
Composing the music is actually a lot more, I would say, natural, because there's not a lot of thinking. When you're directing a film, there's a lot of, you have to think on your feet and say, okay, I have to make decisions. But when I'm composing, I'm able to sit there and just go, well, you know, this is mine to mess up. So, you know, I'm just gonna do what I feel is right. And because it's my film, I have the final say to say, you know, I'm putting this music and I'm using this and this is what sounds right. And I have time to say, okay, I put this instrument there because of this, or I put that there because of this. It's been fun because, you know, it's what I started out to do. Directing was just something I wanted to do. Composing was something that I'd been doing for a while, so it was natural and it was fun.
I was greatly inspired by Hirokazu Koreeda, especially his film Nobody Knows, about children surviving without a mother who's left them, abandoned them. It's interesting because the camera seems to linger with the characters, and it's very important for us as an audience to see the actors' performances really shine, such as a story like Sam's, which the character himself is going through a very hard time in his life, depression, so he creates his own world. So the style that I kind of took from Koreeda's filming techniques, really I wanted to use this to enhance the actor's performance, and so we kept the shots lingering on for quite some time until the actor was really comfortable in his role as the character Sam. Because a lot of the scenes took place in the house, and in reality we wanted to show how the separation between the film and the audience is really the screen itself. If you took that away, you would be part of his world, and that's what we tried to replicate with these lingering shots. We had 2 aspect ratios. It was important because one of them was 1:85:1, which was for the reality scenes. We associate these things with documentaries, dramas, so we opened it up so that the audience could engage more with the actor and we could see more of the actors in frame. And we went for a more widescreen 2:40:1 aspect ratio because it was a lot more film-like, and with his dreams it made it look a lot more organic. The lighting setups as well, they were really a lot more different, and there were a lot more shadows, there were a lot more different colours as well to replicate the different emotions that the character was actually feeling at the time within the dream sequences. The reality shots themselves are really muted. They seem to be very bluish, kind of resembling the character's depressive state. It was important for us to add a lot more grain onto the 1:85:1 shots as well, because we want to show a lot more gritty look.
With writing a script, you often find when translating the dialogue and the action to screen doesn't always necessarily come across as you planned in your head. You'll get to the set, the actors will often say the lines you've given them, you'll realise it's not as genuine or organic as you originally planned.
The most demanding thing was made sure that everyone is where they need to be at the right time. So getting people to locations where having to go and pick up people, pay for necessary fees to transport.
Amazing, really, really amazing. Everyone had their own character. We had the production agent who was always having to buy people things, but he wasn't really happy about buying people things because his money was meant for the production, but everyone was like, food, feed me, get me drink, and he did really well. He got everyone everything that they needed, everything that they wanted, and he was a great laugh in between as well. The cinematographer, who was very, very precise, very about the details, very about things being absolutely perfect. And he could be annoying, but it's only because he was trying to face his part of his vision, So it's understandable. I think he's going to go far because he's really, really hard worker. I've worked with Latifah before, so I already knew that she was, very professional. Very good offset as well, when she wants to learn lines or we want to get something done, we'd do it, spend some time together and get it right before we get on. Tony, I like how he's part of everything. Like, he's done the acting, he's done the behind the scenes. He's also the person who finds all the locations, which I find really impressive because some of those locations are really hard to get into and really hard to film in.
Maybe this is just God's long-awaited plan.
There's something I've always wanted to do before I leave.
Nadine at first, I didn't want her as Winter. I remember going up to her and saying, look, it's clear we don't have any chemistry and I don't like you. And she agreed with, yeah, I don't, But I don't know what really happened. Like, again, the very patient director said to me, get to know her, take some time, try and chat to her. Like, for me, go online and chat to her. And I did. And I really got on with her.
Making Sam has been a great experience for me, and directing it is a tough job, and it's a very stressful job, but I would do it all again, and it's been really fun because this has been a really personal project to me. The way my cast and the crew have taken on this project and the way they've worked on it has really, made me happy. Most of the people know exactly what they're doing, so it was really fun for me. When we got on set, yes, there's a lot of thinking, but when we watched the footage, we're like, that was a fun day. That was a really fun time. And summer of 2012 was one of the best summers I've ever had, even though I was working all through it. Sam was... What?
Summer of 2012 was the best summer we've ever had. It was summer of 2013